Coming up, we're about to break down this 49ers 2021 schedule, and I'm going to give you my win-loss record for the 49ers, looking at every single game. But before we get started, if you're pumped up for some San Francisco 49ers football, like this video and hit that thumbs up icon. I cannot wait to see the 49ers back in action, because if they stay healthy, I think they could be Super Bowl bound. So the 49ers schedule summed up real quick. 4 primetime games, couple of Sunday nights, a Monday night, and a Thursday night. They have an early bye week, which occurs on week 6. And as a reminder to everybody who might have been in a hole and doesn't even realize, it's going to be an 18-week schedule, 17-game season. And the 49ers, they're going to have to travel a lot here in 2021. They have the most net travel miles across the entire NFL. What that means is that's the accumulation of all of the miles that the 49ers travel, in addition to how far other teams have to travel to Santa Clara at Levi Stadium to play the 49ers. Let's first look at the first 5 games for the 49ers. Week 1 against the Detroit Lions. Week 2 against the Philadelphia Eagles. Week 3 against the Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football. Week 4 against the Seattle Seahawks. Week 5 on the road against the Arizona Cardinals. So let's start breaking down all of these games, and I will give you my win-loss record for each game throughout this 17-game schedule. Let's start off with this Lions game. So the 49ers heading into week 1 are the largest favorites among all teams in the NFL in week 1. Touchdown favorites. And I like to smash that number. I think the 49ers are going to win by more than a touchdown, and they're going to have no problem against a rebuilding Detroit Lions team that, you have an experienced quarterback in Jared Goff, but an inexperienced head coach in Dan Campbell, and a roster that is just rebuilding and has a bunch of new pieces, whereas the 49ers are really experienced. They should boat race Detroit in week 1 and make a statement. Week 2, 49ers stay on the road. I'm interested to see if the 49ers are going to go from Detroit and just fly right to Philadelphia instead of going from Santa Clara to Detroit, back to California, across the country to Philadelphia. Nick Sirianni, brand new head coach for the Eagles. He is very unproven. I think the 49ers, to start off the 2021 campaign, reel off back-to-back road wins. They return home to Levi Stadium in week 3 to hopefully take on Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. I had the 49ers going 3-0 off the bat to start the season. Why is that? The Green Bay Packers, in my opinion, they're somewhat soft. They have had, under Matt LaFleur, a lot of trouble against physical teams. What's the identity of the 49ers? A very physical team, both offensively and defensively. Come on, we saw what happened in those 2 games back in 2019. I think the 49ers match up well with Green Bay, and they win in week 3. Week 4, 49ers at home again. Welcome in the heated rival, the Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson and the boys coming into town. I think the 49ers go red hot to start off the season, and they beat Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. This is going to be a close game, a physical game, in what has become one of the best rivalries across the entire NFL. Give me the 49ers in a close win over Seattle. Week 5, 49ers go back onto the road to Glendale, Arizona, to take on Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury, and the Arizona Cardinals. I like the additions that the Cardinals made throughout the offseason. They bulked up defensively, they identified positions of need offensively, and this is a Cardinals team that in 2020 took a jump forward and finished a surprising 8-8. They were one of my breakout teams last year. I think this is just a tough spot for the 49ers, and it's their 3rd road trip. This is just a down week for the 49ers, and they do fall in a close one to the Arizona Cardinals. This week-by-week schedule breakdown and prediction here on the 49ers Report is brought to you by our sportsbook partner, BetUS. This deal that we have going on, it's one of the best out there, and I think it beats and overtakes any deal from any sportsbook. You go to chatsports.com/49bet and enter the promo code Niners125. You get a 125% deposit bonus. So if you deposit $100 into your account, you get $225 of virtually free money if you use that link down below, chatsports.com/49bet. And I don't know about you all, I love making wagers and putting money down because I love making lettuce. Here are some bets that you can place right now on BetUS. 49ers over-under for wins set at 10.5. San Francisco to win the NFC plus 550. How about San Francisco to win the division, plus 175? And the 49ers to win the Super Bowl, 14-1 odds. I kind of like that value. After the show, I might place that bet. So once again, chatsports.com/49bet. Enter the promo code Niners125, and with that link, you get a 125% deposit bonus. Let's move ahead. Week 6, the 49ers have a bye. They get to rest after a difficult stretch there from weeks 3 through 5. Week 7, they take on the Indianapolis Colts at home on Sunday Night Football. Week 8, they travel to Soldier Field to take on the Chicago Bears. Week 9, back at home for a rematch with the Arizona Cardinals. I can't wait to see what the 49ers do up against the Colts in Week 7. And I think this is a game where you're going to find out how good the 49ers are and how good the Colts are. This is going to be an early litmus test to see how for real both of these teams are. Is Carson Wentz going to be able to rebound from a disastrous, nightmarish 2020 campaign? I think he's going to be much better. This is a Colts team that went 11-5. I think they upgrade at that position. 49ers, on the other hand, if they're healthy, going up against a well-rounded team in Indianapolis that I think could make a deep run in the playoffs, I think they're going to rise to the occasion on primetime, and they're going to pick up a win here. Week 8, 49ers go to Soldier Field. Here's what I'm keeping an eye on. Say Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't start the season well, and he just doesn't look good at all. Could the 49ers start Trey Lance against Justin Fields if Justin Fields overtakes Andy Dalton as the starter, and we see Justin Fields and Trey Lance going head-to-head in Week 8? The ratings would pop off for sure, but I do think that the 49ers, traveling to the Midwest, have a little bit of a travel hangover, and they do drop this game. 1 o'clock Eastern, early on the West Coast. We see some West Coast teams be in a funk in those situations, so I think the 49ers could lose this game. Looking ahead to Week 9, rematch with the Cardinals, I think the 49ers look back at that rematch from earlier on in the season and they say, we can't get swept by the Arizona Cardinals. They make some adjustments. They end up winning this game. And through 8 games, I had the 49ers at 6-2 on the season, which is a great spot to be in at the almost midway point in this now 17-game schedule. Looking ahead, weeks 10 through 14. You take on the Rams on Monday Night Football at home. Week 11 against the Jaguars. Week 12 against the Vikings. Week 13 on the road against the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday Night Football. Week 14 against the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's go back up to the top with this game against the Rams. We know that this has become a great rivalry across the National Football League. And in years past, Kyle Shanahan has had Sean McVay's number. I mean, he's bludgeoned him. And the 49ers have dominated the Rams with Kyle Shanahan taking on Sean McVay. I think that finally Sean McVay is able to get a signature win on the road against the 49ers, and the Niners drop this one against a Rams team that I'm excited to see what they bring to the table with Matt Stafford. He's a clear upgrade over Jared Goff. I think he adds an explosive element to this Rams offense, which really needed it because they were so stagnant under Jared Goff. And let's not get it twisted. They lose Brandon Staley, who's now the head coach of the Chargers, but that defense is still loaded. So I think that defense does cause the 49ers offense some fits, and the Niners drop this one. Week 11, though, they cross the country. They go about as far east as you can, really, to Jacksonville to take on Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence. There's no way that the 49ers lose this game against a team that, yes, is on the up and up because I like what they did in the offseason. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be a stud. They went 1-15 last year, though. This is a lineup and a roster that has a lot of holes. 49ers should have absolutely zero problems in this game against the Jags, and they win big and cover the spread, whatever that spread is. Week 12 against the Minnesota Vikings, 49ers come back home to Levi Stadium. I think the Vikings are going to improve from last year. That defense was terrible. And I think this is going to be a pretty solid matchup that goes back and forth and comes down to the wire between two teams who are going to be fighting for playoff spots. And at this point in the season, coming down the stretch, you really have to string together wins against signature opponents. This is going to be one of those for the Niners against the Vikings. Week 13, it's always a tough game when you have to go to Seattle, and we're expecting NFL stadiums to be at full capacity in the fall. Let's at least hope so. This is going to be a Sunday Night Football game on December 5th, 8:20 Eastern. and the crowd is going to be raucous, and they're going to be juiced up for what has become one of the best and most vicious rivalries across the entire league. 49ers lose this game after beating the Seahawks earlier on at home, and they do split the season series with Seattle. Week 14 against the Cincinnati Bengals, Niners win this one. I do think it is close, though. Don't be fooled by the Bengals' 4-11-1 record, though. They were better than a lot of people thought they were last year, and they were really competitive in a lot of one-score games when Joe Burrow was the quarterback. I think they make a little bit of a leap this upcoming season, but the 49ers do win a close one, and through 13 games, I have the 49ers sitting pretty at 9-4. For the latest rumors, news, live shows, hard-hitting analysis, but also a lot of entertainment and fun, subscribe to the 49ers Report and support us here at Chat Sports. Hit that big red button down below or go to youtube.com/49erstv and subscribe now for the best, most fun, hard-hitting, entertaining 49ers coverage here on YouTube. Let's round out these schedule predictions with the final 4 games of the 2021 campaign. Week 15, at home against the Atlanta Falcons, Kyle Shanahan takes on the team that he used to be the offensive coordinator for and took them to the Super Bowl. Matt Ryan won the MVP that season. Week 16, a short week against the Titans on Thursday Night Football. It's going to be difficult. We'll break that down here in just a minute. Week 17, 49ers come back home to California to take on the awful Houston Texans, the dumpster fire Houston Texans. And Week 18, much anticipated matchup to round out the regular season against the Los Angeles Rams. Let's take a further and deep dive look at this Week 15 matchup against the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons, like some of the other teams that I've talked about, the Bengals, were awful in one-score games last year. I think with Arthur Smith as the new head coach, with Matt Ryan rebounding because he has Arthur Smith as the head coach, and you saw what Ryan Tannehill did with Smith when he was his offensive coordinator with the Tennessee Titans, takes a leap forward. And this Falcons team is much more competitive in an NFC South division that I think is pretty fascinating. This is a game that comes down to the wire, a playoff rematch from the 2017 season, I believe, right? I think. And the 49ers win this game against the Falcons in Week 15. Moving ahead to Week 16. Difficult position to be in when you have to play the Atlanta Falcons and then travel across the country on a short week to play a really talented, really physical Tennessee Titans team. So you go from playing a prolific offensive attack on Sunday to playing Derrick Henry and having to match up against him on a short week, December 23rd, against the Tennessee Titans. That's a really, really difficult matchup in Nashville at Tennessee. Appreciate Jeremy for changing the location there. I think the 49ers lose this game. But as we look ahead to Week 17 and Week 18, 49ers come back home against the Houston Texans. I don't care if Deshaun Watson suits up this year or not. 49ers win this game running away. They have no problems at all with a Houston team that is depleted. I'm not a huge believer in David Caldwell as head coach. And let's be honest, Week 17, as the 49ers are battling for playoff positioning and coming down the home stretch here, if you lose this game, that's an epic disaster. So give me a big fat dub for the 49ers in Week 17 against the Texans. Lastly, Week 18 against the Los Angeles Rams. Boy, this comes down to it. It's going to be a wonderful matchup, and I think the NFC West could come down to this game in Week 18. Kind of a repeat of a late season matchup last year when the 49ers won against the Rams and had no problems. Kyle Shanahan gets back at Sean McVay after Sean McVay got the 49ers earlier on this season, and the 49ers come through with a staple win. And let's say it right here. They lock up the NFC West with this Week 18 matchup against the Rams. Kyle Shanahan once again has Sean McVay's number in a big game. Who knows who's the quarterback at this point, but the 49ers beat the Rams, and they finish the season at a pretty prolific 12-5. So I'm going 12-5 for the 49ers here in 2021. Predict the 49ers record for me in the comment section below. Let me know how you think they do and get your votes in.